Previously on Revenge.
Mr. Grayson here made some kind of deal with the court.
Helping you would be beneficial towards restoring his public profile.
Daniel's getting a new feather in the company cap. Stonehaven United.
Nolan Ross is hiding the carrying program.
We're counting on you.
Alan Crowley made contact with me. Told me that my sister's still alive.
Then we need to draw her out.
Who are those guys?
I have my suspicions.
Brava.
Well, let's see if she buys it. Every human is born of collusion. We come into this world the result of a covenant. Sometimes made of love. Sometimes of circumstance. But almost always made in secret.
I have to assume that you're reading that rag at that decibel for my benefit.
What in this house isn't for your benefit, dear? Though I did catch wind of some news I'm sure will interest you. Jason Prosser is vying for Stonehaven United, and that's a lead from the initiative you were once in sole possession of.
What are you implying, Conrad?
If you're trying to subvert the deal to prove Daniel's incompetency to Helen, don't get me wrong, I approve of the plan, just not with your visibility. I've had my communications director assemble a Montauk dossier as I go forward with my plans to clean up the docks. I expect you by my side as the wife you've recommitted to be.
So you're still using Amanda Clark's hardships to feed your delusions of one day occupying the governor's mansion.
Morning, all.
Darling, happy birthday.
Thanks, Daddy.
Yes, don't spend it all in 10 places.
Sweetheart, no. Is it possible that I have a 24 and 18-year-old? Where does time go?
And where is Daniel?
Believe it or not, he's already in the office. So driven that apparently he forgot his little sister's big day.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Charlotte, would you excuse us for a minute? It seems that the cat has dragged itself back in.
There's a report you requested.
Thank you.
So this is the new communications director. Don't you know that politicians tend to keep their concubines in the closet?
Spoken like a woman that no one is sleeping with.
You'll be happy to hear that Ms. Davenport and I have put our past behind us, and we are now looking to the future.
Well, I can only imagine what kind of horrifying footage that will yield.
You look like the loneliest man in the world.
First I'm banned from Grayson Global, now your house. How long till our scheming gets me banned from the Hamptons entirely?
That's why I called. I needed an honest moment. I miss you.
Me too. As most of the time I'm with you, I'm resigned to playing the jealous ex.
Well, you played it perfectly last night.
How you doing with it?
As well as a woman leading on her ex-fiancé can possibly feel about herself. He's taking me to lunch. To a new oyster bar.
Oysters. Subtle. Okay, well, at least our missions are on track.
Aiden, I know how hard it must be waiting for a lead on your sister, but until they give you proof that she's alive...
I can subsist on hope, which is more than I've had for the last decade.
So what's your next move?
Unfortunately, it's not mine. It's Helen's. She's holding all the cards.
Whatever happens, we're gonna figure it out, okay? I promise.
I know what you're up to. You had the cellar stage this place with all my favorite decor, didn't you?
Anything to end your never-ending house, hon. You've hated all the other places for the most nitpicky reasons.
No, we've only looked at 12.
At an average of 20,000 square foot per, which adds up to...
A marathon? What's your point? And I think I do love this house.
Great! I'll call the agent. And this can be yours tomorrow. Okay. What's wrong now?
Well, the key, it's a little pedestrian. Okay. Well, nothing's perfect. Except maybe you.
I thought we
love Kumamoto's, right? They're only fresh on the West Coast, and since the oysters can't come to us. I know what you're gonna say. We gotta take this slow, but Stonehaven wants FaceTime with everyone in the running, and I'm at my best with you by my side.
Daniel, I can't just pick up and leave. I didn't even bring anything with me.
Don't worry, I packed you a bag. I even bought you a couple new outfits for Los Angeles. It's all on board.
Listen, you help me land Takeda Industries and Noelcor. This is my first real play as CEO. Help me make it a trifecta. Please. Great. Now, I promise this is a business trip, right? You can take it as slow as you like. Not less.
Easy, Tiger. Let's get Stonehaven first. Then we'll decide how to celebrate.
You could have just called.
That's so impersonal after all we've been through. And besides, it's in my best interest to keep the ball in my court. I have my suspicions you were behind that little stunt at the wine auction.
You flatter me. If you recall, they gassed us both.
Perfect cover for your partner to run the interrogation. You and Victoria Grayson have much to gain by working together. You to save your sister, she to save her son.
I assure you I had no part to play in our abduction, nor would I ever collude with that woman. I work alone, and until I see proof of my sister's well-being, that's how it's going to stay.
What's your name again, darling?
Colleen.
Is that right? You got a family somewhere?
I have a brother.
What do I have to do?
Kill Victoria Grayson. You have 24 hours.
Not only do I appreciate your plight, it may surprise you, Mr. Porter, but we have a considerable amount in common. We're both entrepreneurs, both in complicated relationships. We took over our father's businesses, and we inherited their sins. Clearing the drug charge won't be a problem for my lawyers, but murder.
Jack didn't kill anybody.
We know, but we also know that the gun used to kill Joe Ryan was registered to his father.
I thought that's why we were here, so you could help us with that.
Or is it the other way around? Are we just the poster children for your new public image?
What do you mean, do I have a selfish motivation for this? You bet. You see, my daughter chooses to spend her leisure time at your questionable establishment, putting herself in harm's way. It's a concern I'm sure you share for your son, Carl, a child proudly named after the man whose legacy you're willing to go to jail to uphold.
The shooter's name is Matt Duncan. The Ryan brothers put him in the hospital trying to get him to talk, but he wouldn't break.
I'll get the authorities
No,
on
look, without Matt Duncan, my dad would have lost the stowaway 6 years ago. He protected us then, I'm standing by him now.
Well, I can see we're both stubborn, too. But unlike you, Mr. Porter, I value self-preservation and the living. I'm afraid I'm unable to help you if you're unwilling to help yourself. Feel free to show yourselves out.
I knew this was a mistake.
The only mistake being made here is yours. Father's friend or not, Matt Duncan is a murderer. If you don't call him out, Carl loses his dad, and I lose my husband. Assuming I even get to call you that before they lock you up.
After the Northridge quake, my father was inspired to use the profits from our military contracts to create a privatized disaster relief firm. Stonehaven and its employees meant everything to my father, and I'm not interested in handing it over to someone with plans to break it up and sell it for parts.
Believe me, that's not my intention at all.
Forgive me, but your company's rather dubious reputation doesn't offer much comfort. Well, I think we can all agree that Grayson Global needs its own kind of disaster relief. Why didn't you mention what we were talking about earlier?
Right. My goal is to rebrand our image so that the global refers to world view, not world domination.
Thank you for your candor. And I can tell you that your bid is on top of a very short list of competing offers.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, Miss Carlisle. It's been a pleasure.
Lovely to meet you. You too.
You see, if it weren't for you, I may have lost her just now. Thanks for the assist.
Well, we haven't won yet.
But it's looking up. Should we head to the hotel?
Yes, the pieces of the puzzle are beginning to come together, Miss Lahari. All but yours.
I'm doing everything I can.
Remember what's at stake for you if you don't find the carrion program.
Not a moment goes by that I don't.
You're one of many irons I have in the fire. Don't give me a reason to pull you out.
Looking for something?
Damn. I was trying to hide this so you'd find it later. I can't do anything about the pedestrian key, but I can change what you keep it on. His name is Hanuman. He's an avatar of Shiva and a deity that wins against demons and bad spirits. He'll keep you safe in your new home. You stopped listening at Avatar, didn't you?
I heard every word you said. Thank you. You're always looking out for me.
Happy 18th, Charlotte. From your nephew.
Oh, it's Carl's little handprint. It's so sweet.
18 is a big one. You're independent, free. In my case, I literally was, since that was the year I was released from juvie.
It was also the year our dad died.
Yeah. It was.
I wish I'd known you then. I can't imagine what it was like to lose the only family you had.
Speaking of, where's yours?
Daniel forgot. My father is hopefully getting the Ryan brothers out of your hair, and I'm meeting my mom in the city tonight for the ballet. It's kind of a tradition. Speak of the devil. So what's the program tonight? I pray it's Belle and Jean.
Well, that's just it, Charlotte. Everything's okay, but I had to leave town suddenly and...
Won't be back until tomorrow, but I promise to make it up to you.
Are you serious?
You do know that I love you, don't you?
Yes.
Good. And keep that close to your heart till I get back tomorrow.
What does it mean when your mom cancels your birthday?
I'd say it's her gift to you.
I guess being a Grayson just means learning to live with disappointment.
You're not a Grayson. Not really.
Victoria!
Jason, I am peeved with you. It seems that you've thrown your hat into the Stonehaven ring.
Simply my compulsion to leave no stone unturned.
Well, then as a major shareholder of Grayson Global, let me disabuse you of your pessimistic outlook.
Aren't you still my competition?
Business makes for strange bedfellows. My son, though well-intentioned, is not ready for this acquisition, so I'm here to protect the family business.
There's something you're not telling me.
Only that you would make an excellent steward for Stonehaven.
And should that come to pass, I hope you'll allow me to thank you later. As for now, I have a meeting to get to.
Oh, you're not serious. I can't believe you. You crossed the country to lure that rat into helping you.
I just bumped into him. I'm here for you, Daniel. Although I see that you brought reinforcements.
Yeah, it's nice to have someone's unconditional support.
Well, then allow me to offer you mine. Now, if your intention is to rehabilitate Grayson Global's image, I would encourage you to not go through with this acquisition.
Why? Because of the firm I stand in, your CEO?
No, quite the opposite. These disaster relief companies swim in dirty pools, and Stonehaven is no exception. They're not humanitarians. They are profiteers.
Are you really trying to take the moral high ground? Have you forgotten what you are? What you've profited from?
I suggest that you do your research and find out why these people want you to
You should probably go upstairs before you say something you regret in public.
Think about it.
That.
I assume per our agreement you're here to dissuade my son from going through with this acquisition.
You need to explain to me exactly why you were so set against it.
Did you not understand a word I said? This is not in Daniel's best interest. And unlike my son, Prosser can hold his own. Now he's sitting on the fence, and I'm here to push him in the right direction.
There you are.
Aiden, listen, I don't have a lot of time to explain, but Daniel decided to sweep me off to LA to help him get Stonehaven.
And I'm sure he thinks you'll seal the deal in that blue dress you're wearing. Behind you.
What the hell are you doing in LA?
Funny, I thought the same thing when I saw you in the lobby with Daniel.
You're saying you didn't follow us?
Well, I'm not thrilled your lunch day turned into a change of time zones. I do trust you, Emily.
And what are you doing here?
Helen found me. A little ruse at the auction worked. She believes Victoria's behind everything. Now she wants proof of her meddling with the initiative's plans.
How can I help?
Go back to New York. If they believe you're in league with Victoria, it could have dire
I
consequences.
can't leave, Aiden. If Daniel loses Stonehaven, we lose our link to the initiative.
Well, then our missions are at odds.
Maybe not. Prosser knows that I'm with Daniel, so I can't dissuade him, but maybe you can.
To what end?
Making Stonehaven a sure thing for Daniel forces Victoria to expose her true intent.
And if I'm successful, you'll go.
I'll have no reason to stay.
They release you?
Oh, hey. Oh, insurance ran out, so I figured I'd give my girls a chance to take care of the old man. How you doing, Jay?
Not so good. The Ryans framed me with a drug charge. I was arrested and the police found a gun on my boat. And since it's a murder weapon...
Told you to stay away from them, and you should listen.
That's not gonna change the past, Matt. They're gonna pin Joe Ryan's murder on me. Do you understand that? The one that you're guilty of.
And you want me to confess?
I know this still weighs on your conscience, and you wouldn't have told me you did it.
You don't know what it's like to have someone hurt your child. And yeah, it weighs on me, but I learned to live with it.
Wish I could say the same for my dad. You heard about what happened, right? Heart attack at 52. My kid never got a chance to meet him. You want him growing up without a father, too?
Another copy of my room key, please. Always the sign of a good visit. You already know this, but that Forbes cover did you no favors.
Airbrushes are for supermodels. Last thing I need is for people believing I've gone soft.
The man who shorted the subprime collapse, no chance. So, what brings you to LA?
You know who I am? What do you think?
That you're here for Stonehaven. My boss has a significant interest in Grayson Global. He sent me to monitor negotiations.
Right, Satoshi Takeda. I recognize you from the wine auction.
I did read the Forbes piece about your passion to acquire businesses that are good for the soul. Is that for real?
It's my new philosophy, yes.
Then there's something you need to know. A friend at the DOJ informed me that Donna Carlisle's looking to dump her father's company in advance of an indictment. And the lucky winner inherits the lawsuit.
Why are you telling me this?
Professional respect. And for my soul. But look on the bright side. More time to spend with whoever's getting that key.
Get me Donna Carlisle. It's Jason Prosser.
Have your oldest scotch. Neat.
And my father's tastes.
And your father would have been Joe Ryan, correct? His name came up while I was at the Montauk PD helping to clear your partner's bogus drug charges. Hey, does the name Matthew Duncan ring a bell? In this envelope is Mr. Duncan's confession to your father's murder. I'm going to make this very easy for you. There is $50,000 for your signature and a swift departure. Oh, come on, haven't you put these boys through enough?
Hi.
Victoria.
I wanted to find out how the meeting went. Yet I see I have my answer. Are you planning on leaving without saying goodbye?
Seemed consistent with your aversion to open communication. Some guy in the lobby told me about Stonehaven's pending lawsuit.
Well, then you were lied to.
Over and over, it seems. Starting with the moment you began priming me for this sour deal in the first place. I'm no one's rube, Victoria.
No, you're not. You've always had a strength and clarity of purpose that I admired from the first day we met.
I remember the night. Conrad parading you around that party at the governor's mansion like he owned you. But you're no one's possession, are you?
No. Least of all Conrad's.
The next morning, the David Clark scandal broke.
That's right. David made himself vulnerable to the wrong people. The same people who are about to take hold of my son.
Unless?
Unless you win Stonehaven. Jason, please. I beg of you.
I don't want Stonehaven. What I want is you. But you've known that all along.
Do what I ask. And I'm yours.
Hey, I'm so glad Prosser bowed out. Finally gives us a chance to relax.
Well, we always did make a good team.
And this time I promise to appreciate it. I don't want to lose you again.
Daniel, please.
Whatever it was, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm just happy that you're giving me a chance to prove it to you. What's in the bag?
Oh, it's a present for Charlotte. For her birthday?
Oh my God, I completely forgot.
No, it can be from both of us. To teamwork.
Teamwork. Hey, Donna, come to a decision yet? Right. Oh, no, yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, best to be cautious. Yeah, we'll see you at 8. All right. Prosser's back in the game.
What?
I'm sure my mother did whatever she could to keep him wrapped around her talent. Carlisle wants to hear final pictures side by side tonight. Only I've already said my piece.
About Stonehaven, but not about your competition.
Hey, Big Honcho, or is it head cheese? Listen, Nolan, I need a favor. I'm in LA and under a time crunch. Think you could do a little digging for me on Jason Prosser?
Sure. Question is, why would I?
Because you're my employee. And your friend, Miss Thorne, suggested you might be able to access the inaccessible.
Did she know? I'll get right on it.
Thank you.
Please stay on the line.
Your call is very important to us.
You sold our stake in the bar. What the hell were you thinking?
It's time to put this to bed. Matt Duncan confessed. That's what we wanted. That's not what Dad wanted, Ken. He made plans for us, which the porters and the rest of these bottom feeders on these docks cut short. Trying to turn these docks into anything more than what they already are is a waste of time, especially now that they've got Conrad Grayson on their side. Conrad Grayson is a businessman, and I'm going to convince him to sell the Stowaway back to us. I'm going to make Dad proud, okay? With or without your help.
And simply put, my goal is for Stonehaven to continue on the same path ideologically.
That is exactly my hope. Personally, I admire your mission to protect your father's legacy.
My dad was a good man. And not just to his own kids, to any child, especially disaster victims. He'd see their faces and how terrified and innocent they were.
I was living in Bushwick during the blackout of '77. I thought the world was ending. My father's camera store was looted, burned to the ground.
Really? You know, my father helped to rehabilitate that whole borough. You were probably one of the kids who inspired him.
Well, then I have a personal obligation to repay him. I'd like to raise my offer if you'll consider it.
Well, as moving as your story about the blackout is, Miss Carlisle wishes to uphold her father's mantle, not destroy it. Perhaps you'd like to explain to her how you colluded to inflate gas and oil prices after 9/11.
I was never involved in those transactions.
But your subsidiaries were.
In my short time as CEO, I've learned I'm not only accountable for my own actions, but for those of everyone working under me.
Why is none of this public record?
Well, because the lawsuits were all settled and buried.
It's a fine allegation coming from a Grayson.
Now, don't confuse my record with my father's, all right? Listen, Donna, I never knew your father, but I assume he'd be greatly disappointed if one of the children he helped now hopes to destroy what he created.
Yes, he would be. As am I. I'll have my lawyers drop the contract, and we'll go from there.
I'll leave you
need you to talk details. Excuse me. Hello?
As requested, I hacked Aiden's phone, sending me the file he just received from Helen Rowley.
They've got a sister. So, where you from, Colleen?
You ask too many questions. Our time's almost up.
You're right. Let's, kick things up a notch. Try it. You like it. Like you said, time's running out.
Why the hell wouldn't Aiden tell me about this?
Perhaps it has something to do with the subject line? A life for a life?
We know he's trying to save his sister, but...
Who's the target?
Victoria. Track his phone before it's too late.
Jason?
You and your son make an admirable team. You set me up, and he and that woman on his arm knocked me down.
What are you talking about? What happened?
Exactly what you knew would happen. Another Grayson victory.
Jason, my son is in grave danger. I swear that
Whatever trouble he's in, he deserves it. And you've earned whatever heartbreak it brings.
Why didn't you tell me?
If I had, I know Victoria belongs to you.
I saw the video. And Nolan hack into your phone. Is it really her?
I'm certain of it.
Look, I know what they're promising you. But you can't let them turn you into their assassin.
If I don't, then I failed it for the second time.
And if you do, then you give them all the power. Listen to me. Right now, Daniel's victory is their main concern. And they have that. You kill his mother, you distract him from their main purpose. Tell Helen that you realize this, and instead you help seal Daniel's victory over Prosser. Look, I'm going back tonight. You should too. We're gonna find your sister. But on our own terms, not theirs. And when we do, we are gonna make them pay for every second they kept you apart. Do you understand? Home again.
Yeah, we don't have to be, you know? I mean, we can refuel the jet, head to the Bahamas, the Azores, anywhere without business or my mother.
I think I just want my own bed. But, you know, maybe we can plan another trip sometime soon. Just got your email. Bidding on the house?
Did you know that there was a secret passage? Because I am totally hosting a murder mystery dinner.
That's what finally got you to commit a secret passage.
And, someone to walk through it with?
I don't know, Nolan. After everything with Marco.
My feelings for Groucho Snarks were fleeting and no mistake. He was only after one thing, and it wasn't me. Just some dusty old computer program.
Human carrion.
Right.
Victoria, how was your flight back?
You know, you and I can stand here all day trading barbs, nettling each other's last nerves, or we can cut the crap. Why did you accompany my son to California?
Because he asked me to. And I thought I could sway him.
Yes, but in which direction?
I was forced to walk a fine line between my allegiance to you and my relationship with Daniel. Surely you could understand, seeing as you've just done the same with Prosser.
Well, the difference is that my son floats through life on crests of women unable to make his own decisions. You could have dissuaded him at any point, why didn't you?
I guess I wanted to see him win.
You selfish little girl. In doing so, you may have caused him his greatest loss.
Nolan?
Welcome back. I read about how the West was won. I hope I helped the cause with your faux bow.
I
think I'm gaining his confidence back. But I might be losing Victoria's. It's only a matter of time before she poisons me to Daniel.
What if you poison her first, which is a far more fitting than the bullet, don't you think? Speaking of which, have you heard from Thomas Crumb? I tried triangulating his phone. He's either jammed it or dumped it.
I just hope I made the right decision.
I know I didn't.
With the house? Isn't this the one that I'm buying you?
I don't think so. Seems nothing can save me from evil spirits. 11 years ago, I started working on something. Have I told you what carrion is?
Rotting meat?
The form of 1,000,000 lines of binary brilliance that have the ability to knock Manhattan off the power grid in less than a millisecond.
That's what Marco was looking for.
Right program. Wrong CFO. Last week, Padma referred to carrion as a person. And today, she called it a program. I never told her that.
I'm sorry, Nolan. Did she get her hands on it?
No. Even if she had, it's unfinished. Keep the final sequence locked up in here.
The timing can't be a coincidence. Padma played an instrumental role in acquiring Nullcore while seeking out carrion, and now Daniel's latest purchase is a disaster recovery firm.
Wait. That's the initiative's master plan. Turning out the lights.
What concerns me is what happens when they do. What's your plan for Padma?
I don't know yet.
My advice? Play her like she's playing you.
Dad? Mom?
Bon anniversaire, ma belle.
Oh, thought you canceled my birthday.
Never.
We rescheduled it. Celebrating you, sweetheart, not the Gregorian calendar.
Go on, blow out the candles.
I only have one wish this year.
Anything.
I've spent the last 2 days thinking about family and what it means to be a daughter, a sister, and now an adult, and my only wish is that you support my first adult decision. I'm changing my name. I filed papers at the courthouse today. You can now call me Charlotte Clark. Happy birthday, Charlotte. From me and Daniel.
Emily! Well, I didn't realize we'd extended invitations.
Emily doesn't need one. Let's get you a drink. Love you, sis.
I hope I didn't interrupt your time with your family.
Trust me, I didn't want to be around for the aftermath of Charlotte's announcement. You can't imagine what hell my dad's giving her right now. Everything all right?
Ugh, I can't do this. I'm sorry, I need to be honest with you. A few weeks ago, Victoria asked me to rekindle a relationship. She wanted somebody to keep an eye on you during your transition at work. I said yes.
So you're the one who leaked Stonehaven to her?
Which is why I fought so hard to help you win it back. Believe it or not, I thought I was doing it for the right reasons.
You must think I'm an idiot. There isn't a single aspect of my life that my mother hasn't meddled in.
You knew?
I strongly suspected. Her plans so rarely break in my favor, I guess I just stuck my head in the sand. In all fairness, I guess I was using you as much as you were me. I was curious to see how far you were willing to go.
Now you know.
You think we'll ever get back to being the people we once were?
Maybe. Just not tonight.
Hey, can you just tell me what you said to Matt?
Honestly, not much. He must have had a crisis of conscience.
You did the right thing, Jack.
Daddy saved us.
I'm just glad Conrad stood by his word. Got the drug charges dropped, banished the Ryans.
Yeah, because now we're business partners with Conrad Grayson.
I know, it's not ideal.
Ideal? The guy was stealing money from his daughter while she was locked up in rehab.
Enough, Declan. I'm instating a ban on all complaining, frowning, and negative attitude. It's not good for any of us.
I didn't sign off on this deal.
Ink's already dry. You're gonna have to take that up with your brother, Kenneth.
I'll buy it back. 60,000. 65.
Let me save you this embarrassing display. Exclusive of your 6-year vendetta against the wrong man, I know why you think you want the stowaway. I have been approached by investors for decades with plans to develop the docks, and each one has resulted in the same conclusion. The owners have very deep roots, and they aren't going anywhere.
You live in the castle above the village. You don't know what I know. What my father knew, how these people work. He almost had the waterfront in the palm of his hand. All we need is the stowaway, and we can regain that foothold that he once had.
I want changing community opinion with town hall meetings?
Nah, with muscle. Applying the proper amount of pressure, I can have roulette wheels spinning by Memorial Day.
Overly arrogant and ambitious. I like that.
Think about it. Think about all those jobs you'll be creating. It's right in line with your new public image.
Conrad, we should talk about this.
You're right, we absolutely should talk about this. Actually, could you please close the door?
You don't always have to pay for dinner, you know.
Chivalry isn't dead. It's just somewhere in my office.
You said it's your platinum card?
That's probably next to...
In my computer somewhere? Ooh, forgot to warn you about that trick drawer.
Don't worry. I'll clean it up. Still don't see your platinum card.
It'll turn up. I guess it is.
It's your turn to pay.
Deal. Aiden, what happened? The Graysons could see you?
Okay.
It's done.
It made it look like an overdose.
Aiden. Aiden, I'm so sorry. But you can't trust these people. You can't trust this. Listen to me.
Listen to you. I did listen to you. And that's exactly how this happened. You made me believe that they were manipulating me, giving me false hope. But it's you that I shouldn't have trusted. If there's a chance that my sister's alive, then I'm gonna find her.
Aiden.
And if she is dead, then this is on you.
Aiden.